Welcome in to News and Views with Tom Lamprecht. The stories you've heard and the ones you need to hear.
I know my decision will be criticized.
There were no plans. There were no contingencies.
They will reconstitute. This is not in our national security interest.
They need to own this debacle, this total and utter failure.
I think COVID is definitely here to stay. The efficacy of the vaccine wanes over time. We will need to have yearly COVID booster shots, just like we do with the flu.
Your life, your values, your voice. This is News and Views with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
All right, we're back in the studio for a Tuesday. Lots to talk about. Is this mic on? Why do I not hear myself?
I hear you.
You hear you.
Yeah.
Hear me.
Now I don't.
Coming through hard? Shake it up, baby. Anyway, give me your microphone, man. We'll have to share a mic there. That's so much better. What is with the mics? Will Henry Hinton pay his mic bill? I'll give it back to you in a second. As soon as he gets this one working. Here you go. Thank you, sir. Live radio. Anyway, lots to talk about today. The fallout from the. Oh. That's right. That's why we do mic checks. There.
We're doing it live.
Is that better? So, in other words, what he really wanted me to do was crawl under the desk and use the other microphone. Okay.
Oh, my.
That sounds like something Bill Clinton would say. I ain't doing it.
Let's keep it PG here, boys.
I'm no Monica Lewinsky. Sorry about
Boy, this program has gone downhill quickly. All right, let's start over again. Welcome in. It's Tuesday. News and Views. Tom and Benny. As the Biden administration grapples with the deteriorating situation in Afghanistan, Ned Price of the Biden's, the O'Biden. That's the new name for Joe Biden. O'Biden. Ned Price of the Biden State Department has joined the UN Security Council in calling for a new government in Afghanistan that is unified, inclusive, and representative, including with the full, meaningful participation of women. You can't make this up. This is cut one. It's going to be one of those days.
Additionally, the UN Security Council issued a joint press statement earlier today calling for a new government that is united, inclusive, and representative, including with the full and meaningful participation of women. The Council spoke with one voice to underscore that Afghanistan must abide by its international obligations, including to international humanitarian law, and ensure the safety and security of all Afghans and international citizens.
You're kidding, right? These people are idiots. These people are absolute idiots. The Taliban is over there as we speak. They're rounding up people, lining them up, getting ready to slit their throats and chop their heads off. And these horses' rear ends at the State Department and the UN are calling for the, quote, full and meaningful participation of women in Taliban-controlled government.
They got to be sitting back laughing. You know, if Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, former, retired general, if he wasn't so concerned about, for the last 3 or 4 months, he's been talking about this critical race theory, horse
manure,
and all this gender studies and stuff in the military. If he'd had his eye on the ball, maybe this fiasco wouldn't have happened. But then again, Joe Biden was at the helm, so, who knows?
I mean, the point is, do these dimwits have any clue as to what is going on in the world?
And we were just told a month ago by Joe Biden that the Afghans were one of the most well-equipped armies in the world.
300,000 well-equipped.
Well, they're well-equipped, but now it's the Taliban is well-equipped with our weapons.
With our weapons.
Yeah.
And has this a repeat? Has this not happened before? Yes, it has, under Obama. So does the Biden administration hope that the Taliban will take some clues from Joe Biden and the transgenders? How about sending Dr. Richard, please call me Rachel Levin, the beauty who is second in command over at, what's the health department or something?
Captain Kangaroo with long hair.
don't say that bad things about Captain Kangaroo. But I mean, well, let's send her over to Afghanistan and give those boys a lecture to tell them how important it is to give them plenty of room for their fellows who might think they're women to be given fair treatment. Let's let what percentage of transgender leadership should we have in the Taliban? Do these jerks not realize that it is their liberal diversity points that is one of the reasons that the Afghans roundly rejected our efforts at nation building?
Yeah, and well, that's a whole nother topic. I don't believe in nation building anyway because it's not going. You're talking about centuries.
Well, first of all, Afghan is not a nation. No. Afghan is a bunch of tribes that covers the same landmass that has the borders of Afghanistan, but it's not a nation per se. But the idea that we're going to go export this liberal ideology, and you have these airhead people that live in these ivory palaces of academia here in the United States that have made their way into this administration, and just liberals in general that have this asinine thought patterns in terms of, oh yeah, we can have a male that thinks there's a female, and we'll applaud that, and let's export that to Afghanistan. The Afghanis, I mean, some of them have more common sense than those occupying the ivory towers here in the United States.
Yeah, those ivory towers, occupying the ivory towers, the elites you talk about, reminds me of the Thomas Sowell quote that whenever there's a disaster going on in the world, there's normally a guy from Harvard in the middle of it.
In the middle of it, the head of it?
Yeah, that knows everything there is about any topic. And, the fact of it is there's been generals for the last 20 years, ever since we've been in Afghanistan, retired generals and people that maybe were, didn't get advanced because they weren't toeing the political line, that has been telling everybody what's been going on in Afghanistan was a mistake from day one. And, put Joe Biden in charge of something, you'll see it goes to hell in a handbasket quickly.
Indeed. I mean, the list is pretty long for Joe. Earlier today, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki came back from vacation. Joe went back on his vacation. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, they gave a press conference earlier this afternoon. Joe was hiding at Camp David. Sullivan spun like a top as he tried to justify Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan that put thousands of Americans in danger. Quote, he was asked, has the president spoken to any other world leaders since Kabul fell to the Taliban? This is a question from, believe it or not, a CNN reporter. The answer, Biden has not yet spoken with any other world leaders. It's beyond the pale. It is beyond the pale. This guy has abdicated his responsibilities. Now, I understand he's a Manchurian candidate. I mean, he's not really there. There's a puppet master pulling the strings, and right now, Joe, go back to Camp David. That's a good place for you to hide out.
He's sitting around the fire having a warm cup of buttermilk at Camp David, I guess.
But so I mean, this is Sullivan insists that Joe is working his head off, throughout the weekend, working hard. Has he talked to any other world leaders? No. Biden hadn't spoken to any other world leaders. You know what? Perhaps because he doesn't have the ability, the mental faculties to carry out this duty that he would have as commander-in-chief. I mean, Donald Trump, how many do you think he would have spoken to at this point? 20, 30?
President Biden, I think yesterday, I don't know how much you guys talked about it yesterday, but because I guess his brief speech came on right before the show, I guess.
Yeah, no, I had a chance to hear most of it.
But, and I've been, I'm mid-50s, but I've been following politics, since I was 8 or 10 years old. But I believe that was the absolute worst, most embarrassing speech at a time of world crisis by an American president in history. I mean, not even a close second.
Well, he certainly blamed Donald Trump and the Afghan government for his administration's ongoing disastrous withdrawal. It wasn't his fault. It was everybody else's. You know, it's interesting about this. I mean, he blames Donald Trump, saying that Donald Trump put him in a bind, that he was obligated to follow what Donald Trump had set up. What other areas in the Biden administration has he felt any obligation to follow through on what Donald Trump has put into place? I think it's zero.
Yeah, and the troops had been dialed down, you know, a while back. You know, Trump started that, and so.
But remember that Donald Trump, he was trying to get this deal with the Taliban, and he said you've got to follow through on these issues, and they didn't follow through, and Trump backed off of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, Trump had an agreement, but it was with caveats and those caveats weren't met by the Taliban.
No. And they know, I mean, just like China knows now, and every other place in the world that's a threat, they know we have weak leadership.
Yeah.
And they knew it, and they proved it this week.
Biden claimed in the speech yesterday that the buck stops with him, but he turned around and blamed everybody else. So Joe Biden's 2020 campaign for the presidency was based on the dubious notion that he would bring competence, trust, and calm back to the government following the presidency of Donald Trump. Trump was a wrecking ball. Biden would be a builder. Where Trump was an arsonist, Biden would play the firefighter. Where Trump was a divider, Biden would be a uniter. So how's it going, Joe?
Yeah, and these idiots in the mainstream media with CNN and others just, you know, oohed and awed during the inauguration and prior and right after the election about, you know, President Joe Biden's leadership and experience in foreign affairs, which, you know, hey, reminds me of what Bob Gates said about him. He's been wrong about everything in foreign affairs
40 years.
in the last 4 decades.
But he bragged about it. He bragged about how wonderful it was, how he was the most experienced.
Well, it's like my dad used to say. He'd been knowing people that's been cooking pigs and cooking barbecue for their whole life, and they're still terrible at it. So just because you experience doesn't mean you're good at it.
So instead of explaining how the Biden administration would help to get Americans out of Afghanistan, this guy Sullivan from the State Department said the United States was talking with the Taliban itself in an effort to stop the beating or obstruction of those trying to get to the airport in Kabul after reports of such attacks broke out Tuesday. Basically, the folks at the White House are just begging the Taliban to allow Americans to get through to the airport. This was another cut from this guy Sullivan from the State Department.
You noted that you had encouraged Americans on the ground there to leave and that many chose not to. I just wanted to follow up on Weeja's question. Will the U.S. government commit to ensuring that any Americans that are currently on the ground in Afghanistan get out?
That's what we're doing right now. We have asked them all to come to the airport to get on flights and take them home. That's what we intend to do.
So get to the airport. Just hop in a local taxi and get to the airport. Again, are these people idiots? I mean, they get in a car or go to the airport and get shot. Well, just get to the airport so we can get you out of the airport.
Well, you know, I'm certainly not giving Joe Biden a pass on all this at all. I mean, but at the same time, we have got a lot of people in Washington in suits in the State Department and in the Pentagon and all the clandestine services, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, speaking of the Pentagon, here's John Kirby from the Pentagon, the press secretary for the Pentagon, and he was asked a follow-up question about how do you get to the airport?
What is the plan to get these people to the airport? There's first of all, from a military perspective, John, our focus is at the airport, right? Security and stability at the airport, so we can keep operations going. We're working hand in glove with the State Department in terms of supporting their plans at processing these individuals. But again, that's something that we're going to be doing on a case-by-case, day-by-day basis. Right now, though, I don't want to set the expectation that we are equipped and able to go out into the countryside and physically move people into Kabul. Our focus right now, the troops that we have there are at the airport. The idea is to make sure we can get that the air operations, not only have they resumed, but to keep them in place for as long as possible.
If they can't get to the airport, what does it matter if you have the capabilities to get them out from the airport?
John, I understand that, and we all understand that the security situation in Kabul is not ideal. Right now, the airport is open, and people are able to get through the gates there. There's a processing process that actually has to occur, but right now things are moving out of the airport, and again, our focus is on making sure that continues.
The situation in Kabul is not ideal. That might be the understatement of the century.
Captain Obvious. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Kirby. I mean, it's just, how are you going to get to the airport? Well, you know, our objective is just making sure we get those airplanes in there, and we've got control of the airport. The rest of the city, you're on your own. This is just unbelievable. And again, for the president to glibly blame everybody else. Believe it or not, the Taliban had a press conference today, and there was actually a moment in which I agreed with this spokesperson for the Taliban. His name is Zabihullah Mujahid. I'm sure I'm hacking up that name, but
close enough.
Close enough. So he was asked about these idiot journalists asking these questions again that are so obvious, but he was asked about, will you uphold the freedom of speech? Cut 4.
دا سوال خو باید د فیسبوک له ادارې سره وي د بیان د ازادي دعوت دوی کوي او دلته خلک د بیان د ازادي.
This question should be asked to those people who are claiming to be promoters of freedom of speech, who do not allow publication of all information. I can ask Facebook company. This question should be asked to them.
Yeah, it should.
That's a good one.
So Joe Biden and the Democrats and all you tech partners, do you have any moral authority to demand that these people give out freedom of speech, allow freedom of speech over with the Taliban? I mean, we don't have it here, right?
No. You know, a little bit, this is a serious matter, but a little bit of lighter comical note. I know you probably followed Babylon Bee.
Yes.
Did you see? I mean, they were hitting them out of the ballpark yesterday. I'll just read a couple of their headlines. One of them was Biden demands whoever the president is take full responsibility for this mess. That was one article. Here's the other one. Study finds 92% of Taliban are happy with who they voted for. Talking about Biden. And then the other one was Taliban enjoys deep belly laugh over diversity training materials left behind by the U.S. military.
Listen, this is part of the problem, though. They actually had diversity training that was being mandated that the Afghan army participate in.
And here again is where we think we can change a culture that has been existing since I don't know, before Christ.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And think we can go in there and nation build and change, particularly with when their culture is so anti what they're promoting here.
Well, and the liberal ideology that progressives here in the United States want to push as if they have the moral high ground, and these barbaric people over in Afghanistan need to bow down and abide by what we instruct them with. Now, again, you're right. I am not taking the Taliban side. Don't get me wrong. But my gosh, these wounds are self-inflicted that the United States is suffering, and it's a whole lot worse for the wounds that a number of people over there. So we got to take a time out. But as we go into break, pray for the Christian community over there in Afghanistan, they're going to be, they're facing slaughter, literally.
And there's still a lot of Americans there.
Yeah. Stay with us. We'll get to your phone calls, I promise. 561-8255. We'll be right back.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Pasalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place? I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's what the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also. From the bar to the two dining areas. You got two different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have two rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Maribella's and the great pizza that you get at Maribella's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. Come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern living's best small town.
Ride and shotgun with your 5 o'clock drive.
And the drive home should be a delight.
This is Tom Lamprecht with more news and views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. Taking a look at your weather forecast. A chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight. A 30% chance, low around 74. Tomorrow, again, a chance of rain up to 50% with a high near 89. More of the same for Wednesday and Thursday. 50% a chance during the afternoon of showers and 30% overnight with highs around 90 and lows overnight around 75. Weather brought to you by our friends at the Ironwood Golf and Country Club, voted best golf course in Greenville 2 years in a row. Ironwood Golf and Country Club boasts an 18-hole Lee Trevino design course, full-service dining and outdoor pool, tennis, and more. Our newly renovated 15,000-square-foot clubhouse is the perfect place to make new traditions with your family. For a limited time, join Ironwood, pay zero initiation fees. Give them a call, 252-752-4653. Find out what makes Ironwood the best of Greenville, 252-752-4653. Be a part of the best Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Waiting patiently on the phone from Jacksonville is Robert. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hey, Robert.
What's going on, Tom, Benny? How y'all doing?
I'm doing well. Good to hear from you. It's been a while.
Good hearing you. I tell you, you're talking about that first guy you played, the guy from
State
UN ambassador.
Well, he's from the State Department. Right, yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to get over there and talk about the unicorns and rainbows that were supposed to be shooting out of everybody's butt over there in Afghanistan and all. when he was talking about that. I mean, you were talking about earlier about how the left and all just don't get it. I mean, it's like Nancy Pelosi and all the rest of the squad and the other idiots up there, you know, when the Afghan women and all, when all of them were talking about the little girls are going, I'm getting to go to college and all like this, and they were all, yay, look at that now. Now look at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Nancy
they're like-
Pelosi's up there applauding the president, saying he did a great job on the speech yesterday.
Well, you know, she's also backing the girls and all like that. You know, hey, you know, the Taliban ain't going to do them wrong and all. And like, it's easy to say that when you're over 5,000 miles away from them.
Yeah, they're so great.
Yeah,
Go
it's
over and
easy
enjoy
to
them
have
there,
the back
Nancy.
end.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, look at all the. I mean, look at the past there. I mean, look at Michelle Obama and her, you know, dumb comments and all when they get over there and the girls got taken from Nigeria, I think it was.
Well, hey, she did put a hashtag up, Robert. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Hashtag give our girls back.
Yeah.
Like the bad thing about it is they think that, you know, all these evil people like the Taliban and all the rest of them that kidnapped these girls already. They're going to look at that and go, you know, something, they're right. Let's just do let's do the right thing.
Well, remember, Nancy Pelosi is the one that said of the gang members coming up from Mexico that they have a spark of divinity in them. So
Yes,
she's not really the one you want to consult when it comes to evaluating someo's character.
Maybe a spark of opium in them.
Well, yeah. Well, again, it's the unicorn and rainbow shooting at everybody's butt there, you know.
Well, just let's leave the phraseology at butt. All right, Robert. Good to hear
Yeah, have
from
a
you.
good
Thank you,
one.
buddy.
Thanks.
5618255. Let's go to Craig over in Swansboro. Hey, Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Hey, Chance. Hey, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I have two things. First of all, I mean, right now I feel like Neville Chamberlain is the Winston Churchill of the generation compared to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And also, another thing, everyone's talking about how the girls are, you know, going to be, you know, the women are going to be taken care of and raped and all that. Let's not forget about the men and the boys. They're being drug out of their homes and constricted into service for the Taliban army. And it's just not men. It's just not men and women. It is, you know, it's both. So we need to focus on that as well, because it is a absolute nightmare over there.
It is, and there are reports in from Mindy Bells, who writes for World Magazine, and she has got contacts with a number of Christian organizations in Afghanistan. And she wrote on Twitter, a person who works with house church networks in Afghanistan reports its leaders received letters last night from the hashtag Taliban warning them that they know where they are and what they're doing. The leaders say they aren't going anywhere. So it begins, she said. There are numerous stories out there of, and by the way, on the positive side of all this is apparently the gospel is going forth, and there are a lot of people that are turning to Christ over there in Afghanistan right now. Now, I don't know what the number "a lot" means, because when you have a predominantly Muslim country in which Christianity is basically outlawed, a lot might just be a few dozen, it might be a few hundred. I'm not sure what they mean by a lot. But the point is, those people that have made a commitment to Christ, that are living for their Savior Jesus, they are looking at going into eternity in the near future. I pray that doesn't happen, but I would really encourage our folks to remember in their prayers these poor people. I mean, as Craig says, you know, men and women in general, but those people that were allies to the United States, that were interpreters for us, that said, we will help you. Now, some have gotten out, but listen, all of them are not going to get out. And those people who are living for Christ that can't get out, and some don't want to get out. Some feel like this is where I belong. But listen, the United States isn't going to intervene. Apart from divine intervention and protection, this is, I mean, you know, you liken this to back in the days of the early church where Christians were slaughtered for what they believed in under the iron fist of the Roman emperor. It is bad.
Well, we can be cynics, and people can be very cynical about what's going on in the United States and what's going on in the United States. But absent the United States of the past 75 years, that has become a superpower and that really take a moral high ground and have Judeo-Christian values. If it hadn't been for that, this world would be a very different place a long, long time ago. And we are very quickly becoming not a superpower. And with Joe Biden at the wheel, we are a laughingstock, and we are not a superpower.
No. The fact that he has not talked to any other world leaders is alarming, and that's it really tells you what you need to know, that this guy is AWOL. He is AWOL.
Well, his people around him know that he can't carry on a conversation with them. He cannot read a prepared speech and even make sense of that speech yesterday. So, what it's just amazing to me, just the optics of him taking back off to Camp David. That tells me...
Yeah, at least fake it. I mean, at least put him in the basement of the White House and say he's busy in the Oval Office or in the Situation Room or something.
Yeah,
lie about it.
Yeah, release a couple of photos of him in the Situation Room like he's in power and all this kind of stuff.
Well, that photo that they released over the weekend of him at Camp David, on the screen, that's highly questionable that was taken over the weekend.
He had just got through watching Tom and Jerry when they took the picture.
Hey, yeah. Take a test, Joe. Stay with us. Love to hear from you. 561-8255. More to talk about. We'll be right back.
Break the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing is LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods?
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring?
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and fullserviceflooring.com.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
to the show that really makes you think.
He is a genius.
He's all powerful.
He brought a kind of heat.
He could be the best. Just don't hurt yourself, okay? More news and views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. Just looking at a Fox News headline. Governor Abbott of Texas apparently has tested positive for COVID. The News and Observer is reporting the North Carolina House passed its version of the state budget with a veto-proof majority on Thursday. So the Senate's version of the budget passed in June. So did the Senate's version of the budget that was passed in June. The final House vote was 72-41. This could mean that the final version of the state budget that goes to the desk of Cooper later this summer could, but not necessarily, have a veto-proof majority. The third and final vote on the budget came Thursday afternoon, hours after debate that was briefly paused because of protesters shouting in the gallery. Donnie Lamberth, one of the lead budget writers and a Winston-Salem Republican, said during the Thursday floor debate that the budget wasn't perfect and there are things that he doesn't like, but he urged Democrats to vote for the budget. House Majority Leader John Bell from Wayne County, Republican, said the perfect budget doesn't exist. He praised the raises for teachers and state employees. By the way, the hooting and hollering that was going on in the chamber was coming from state union workers who said, hey, we have $1 billion surplus, basically give it to us. Very, very kind of them. Robert Reeves, Democrat from Chatham County, noted through the debate over the 2 days, called it historic budget by the nature of how much money they had spent. There were some good things in it, and at this point, both chambers know lawmakers' position on the budget. The House passed the budget second reading on Wednesday with a 72-41 majority, supermajority. So anyway, we're into the final days of the budget now, and it'll go back and forth. They've got to work out the differences between the Senate version and the House version. We plan to have Jim Perry on, Senator Jim Perry, tomorrow. We can ask a little bit more about this. But it looks like it is possible that we will have a budget that Cooper won't have any choice. It's possible. It's not a guarantee. I mean, it's entirely possible. At the end of the day, the Democrats will bolt after getting threatened by the governor.
I've said before, and this isn't based on any conversations I've had with some of my friends in the legislature, but I said on this show, that I just do not think that Cooper this time can get away with vetoing the budget. I mean, he stood behind that, absent Medicaid expansion, and up front, they just said, hey, save you time, we're not going to have Medicaid expansion. But with everything that's gone on, no teacher raises for the last two budgets that were vetoed by Cooper, and it's Cooper's fault. He can say all he wants to. It's his fault.
Right.
I just don't think he can do it a third time.
Yeah. We'll see.
Another bit of breaking news, if anybody cares, out of the office of Donald Trump. He will be on Sean Hannity at 9 o'clock today.
There you go. Tonight.
So, on Fox News, I guess.
Carolina Journal is reporting, along with a number of other local media and state media outlets, former state lawmaker David Lewis will serve 2 years supervised release and ordered to pay a $1,000 fine. This from a spokeswoman with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Lewis, a Harnett County Republican, served in the North Carolina House. Lewis, who won't serve prison time, resigned from the House in August of 2020. A court filing alleged Lewis diverted $65,000 from his campaign bank account into his business in 2018, using an account known as NCGOP Inc. as a conduit. Lewis controlled the NCGOP account, which had no connections to the state Republican Party. Lewis documented the money transfer as a contribution to the Republican Party. According to the court filing, he later transferred $65,000 to the Republican Party from a personal bank account. He closed the North Carolina GOP Inc. account in October of 2018. Federal prosecutors asked for probation, which is basically what he got. Less than a month after the surprise announcement that he would not seek re-election, Lewis submitted a 3-sentence resignation letter dated Thursday, August the 20th. I want to thank the people of Harnett County for the privilege of serving them for the past 17 and a half years, wrote Lewis, who had been in the House Rules Committee. It's an honor of a lifetime. Somewhere in this account of all this, I guess he wasn't living a luxurious lifestyle in which he used the money for. It was more or less an act of desperation rather than greed, according to a One News service. Nonetheless, his time as a state representative is over, and he will be on probation for the next 2 years. Speaking of money improprieties, the state auditor's office said an Eastern Carolina town paid their mayor pro tem legal fees after he was convicted for punching another council member following a meeting. Boy, you thought your town council had rough meetings. Quentin Jackson is still in the Hereford Town Council. He was mayor pro tem in 2019 when he pleaded guilty to assaulting then-councilman Sid Ely. The audit said after his guilty plea, the town didn't remove Jackson from the office, even though the town's charter said anyone convicted of crime could not hold public office. It also said the town reimbursed Jackson $3,000 in attorney fees in connection with the assault charge. In response, the town's current council said the former council made the decision in closed session without Councilman Ely present, and they never consulted the town attorney. The state auditor says they also found more than $11,000 in questionable credit card use, as well as apparent violation of the town's travel policy made by Jackson. You know, it seems like we're hearing more and more of these stories from these small rural towns where some councilman or mayor gets more power and less oversight and accountability and ends up racking. I mean, this case, we're talking about $11,000 in questionable credit card use, $3,000 in inappropriate attorney fee reimbursement, and you know, this individual is going to have to pay it back. But how does it get so out of hand that, I mean, part of the problem is the town does not have the money to pay for a decent town manager or a town manager at all, and so the person with the credit card just has a free-for-all.
And I hadn't read this report, but knowing Beth Wood, I know it's probably in there. But I mean, to me, is imagine the lack of controls. Because you've got someone that's a town employee that paid for that, and you think they would have the knowledge that that's not okay. And of course, I guess at the direction of the board. But who's advising the board to do these type of things? Do they not have legal counsel? I mean, that's how much
in this day and age, it's hard to believe that you could get elected even to a small town council, small town and the town council. It's hard to believe that you could jump through the hoops and be elected and not realize when they hand you a credit card, you're not supposed to use it for your personal gain. I mean, it's just hard to conceive that somebody is that dumb, that ignorant.
You hadn't been to a whole lot of town council meetings.
Well, I understand that, but I would think that, it's a question of morals, not a question of intelligence.
And then you got people that think they're entitled.
Oh yeah,
that's true. And I've been through things like this in my career where they start doing little things and then they rationalize this behavior.
Oh yeah. They get
point.
away with $100 dinner out with the wife and say, well, we talked about things to do with the town council. And 3 years later, they spent $30,000 on all kinds of personal goodies.
And they get in their minds that, hey, I work for the town all the time. I don't get paid much. I deserve it.
There you go.
It's just the way they think.
Stay with us. When we get back, this is the most bizarre thing that Bill de Blasio has probably ever done. But it's happening up in New York. Thank goodness he's there and we're here. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Got a trade? Now's the time at Greenville Toyota. Never in history has your trade been worth more. Get paid today. Then get a new Toyota hot off the delivery truck. Hurry before they're gone. Like Camrys, $189 a month. Rush to Greenville Toyota.
Anything could happen ever since I met you. Let me take you dancing.
Introducing Pepsi Mango.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
This one's for everyone who spends the amount of time it would take to watch a movie, agreeing on which movie to watch. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Toyota shoppers, now's the time at Greenville Toyota. Shipments of factory fresh Toyotas are arriving daily and being sold almost immediately, like Corollas for $159 a month. Get yours before they're gone. Now's the time. Rush to Greenville Toyota.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
So the New York Post is reporting back in July of 2020, just over a year ago, following the George Floyd riots, Bill de Blasio, the mayor of New York, disbanded the New York Police Department's anti-crime unit. That, in turn, led to a sharp rise in murders and shootings across New York. In response, the mayor called a news conference in Harlem in which he vowed to address crime's root causes. No one exactly knew what he meant until now. It turns out that the solution is handing out cash to gun thugs. This is not a Babylon Bee story. This is really happening. Through an outfit called Advance Peace, the city will offer, they call this a stipend. I thought a stipend was like enough to cover your lunch. The city will offer a stipend of $1,000 per month to young men involved in lethal firearm offenses. At the same time, pairing them with neighborhood change agents, quote, credible messengers, meaning they bring life experience, conflict mediation, and mentorship skills to the target population. Target population, that's probably not a good term. If giving $1,000 a month to violent teens on the provision that they receive mentoring from older ex-cons sounds like a good use of money, well, you're in luck. According to the public advocate Jeanman Williams, investing in the Advance Peace model isn't only a moral obligation, it's a governing imperative. Now, this is not the first place this has been done. It happened it's been tried in Stockton, California, where it was a disaster. Murders rose from 28 in 2019 when it was implemented to 45 in 2020, up to 60% increase, and much higher than the national percent increase of 37%. The summary fact for the Stockton program announces proudly that 71% of its 34 participants are not a suspect in a new firearm-related crime. That's what they're bragging about. Also, the Sacramento program boasts that 44% of its 50 members had no new arrests. Of course, that doesn't account for the 17 original participants who dropped out or were arrested in the first 6 months. So, what this genius mayor, Bill de Blasio, who's not going to be there much longer, thank goodness, and I can't imagine you could have a worse mayor than de Blasio.
I can't either.
I mean, that's the only good news about whoever's going to replace him. It can't. Well, I shouldn't say it can't. It could get worse.
Bill de Blasio, a.k.a. Warren Wilhelm. That's his real name, you know.
Bottom line, though, this is so these kids who have been involved in using a gun, they're going to get paid $1,000 a month.
That's unbelievable.
And this is really happening, folks. That's their solution. So you're going to reward the bad guys. Now, where's the money going to come from? It's going to come from the good guys. It's going to come from the people that are working their rear ends off, paying the taxes in New York. They're going to take that money and turn it around to the gun thugs.
You know, another key member of the Democrat Party, which, you know, to this COVID, I think he's taken a lot of hits, even in the Democrat Party. But before that, I mean, there was talks of de Blasio. Oh, he's going to be next this and that. But just another member of the Democrat Party that's a Marxist. I mean, he's a Marxist and doing stupid stuff like this.
Yeah, if there's a silver lining in all this, it is that the stupidity of the ideas are coming forth, and they're very, very obvious. There was a headline yesterday that said that even the never Trumpers are having buyer's remorse now with Joe Biden. I'm surprised it took them this long. But apparently now they realize, oops.
You having a good time, Joe?
Yeah. I tell you what, Joe Biden is making Jimmy Carter look like he was pretty good.
Someone told me that yesterday.
Yeah. Hey, we got to run. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store, so tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.
Anything could happen ever since I met you.
Introducing Pepsi Mango.